Yeah, West, y'all. Let's get it. We just mobbing. Man, we do it for the West Coast. The best smoke. Let's get it. Smash the like button. The kid is back. Boom, boom. Throw your dubs up. Everybody throw your dubs up. The Stream King has returned. We just Logan. Bay Area style. We gonna just mob out. We gonna ride out. A lot of talk about in the boxing game right now. I go by the name of Ego. Boom, 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 boom. Shout out to the channel members. I can't forget the shooters. Nah. Doom, 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 doom. What's up with everybody? I got my iced coffee. We rolling. Yeah. It's gonna be a good show. I can feel it. Shout out to Prophet. Hey, pictures rolling. Free like OJ all day. They can't stop us. Shout out to New Media, all the Eagles Army. We still riding though. Oh yeah. Shout out to Tiger Woods. He did that. I'm like Tiger Woods. I mastered my craft. Mastered at the Masters. I'm on some different shit, y'all. We just gonna ride out, have a good show. Oh yeah, I forgot. Laura Ingram, sucker. You know, she laughing at Nipsey Hussle's murder and stuff, and try to talk about a song that wasn't even. He was a featured artist. You know, that fuck Donald Trump shit, making it like he got smoked over talking about Donald Trump. That's not what happened, bro. But that's what they trying to. You know, I understand the subliminal. That's why the bitch brought it up. You know, oh yeah, he did a song. You talking about a song that's 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say, fuck that bitch. FTB. Sorry for cussing, mama. You know, you talking about an old ass song. Why you pick that song out of everything? What about the hustle and motivate and shit? You know, the shit that Nip was doing to inspire. See, this is what I talk about. Y'all always say, the black channel and all this bullshit. But y'all see how they try to do the black and the brown. We see it. You know, you gonna focus in on one song that wasn't even his, give him credit for it, and act as if he got shot. It had anything to do with that punk ass song. FTB. I need to see them FTBs in the comment section. Let's get it. You know, just disrespectful. You ain't never seen me play around like that. I never, you know, especially when some shit just fresh. She need to go to Slauson. They'll have her on the track real quick. They'll have her on the track running laps, if you know what I mean. Death Row East, believe in that. Rest in peace, Neighborhood Nip. Yeah, same bitch told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. You know. Racist the cunt. Yeah. I know, I see how this shit go. That's what I'm saying. Let me do me. I got this. Eagles Army, I got us. We see what they be trying to do, these little subtles and stuff. Subliminal. Shout out to IQ though. Shout out to my dude Prophet. He said, been waiting all day for this real boxing talk. I can't get with the simplistic talk everywhere else. You know I got that. The livest live stream, you already know. Like we here to talk real boxing. You know, let's jump into it. Yeah, they talking about shut up and dribble and shit. Bitch, what? Never mind. See, I'm about to say something out of it. I'm about to say shut up and gag. Y'all got me fucked up. Y'all really got me fucked up, bro. Shout out to Sean Torre. you know, just disrespectful with it. I'm all about increasing the peace, but, you know, for that to happen, people got to show some respect. Respect the dead. God bless the dead. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you guys don't think it, like Fox News and all this shit, they be doing little slick shit. Little slick shit. We see what you doing. You know, like the guy that pushed the kid over the thing, they show his picture all huge on the screen. And then there'll be like a white kid that shot up a school, killed multiple people, and then they, you know, blur out his face and shit. Man, we see the games, man. Don't show his picture. Call him a troubled teen. Like, that motherfucker ain't troubled. He a serial killer. Stop playing with us. New media, Death Row East. Everything I did on the West, I'm taking over to the East. I'm taking it worldwide with this boxing shit. Death Row East, believe in it. Please do. Andrade gets no pass. Y'all want to talk about Andrade first, or Anthony Yarde's trainer and Andre Ward? We're going to talk about everything, but what y'all want to talk about first? Yarde-Ward comparison, or Andrade calling out Spence? Hogan said Munguia team reached out for the rematch. They need to, from what I heard. I still ain't watched it, but from what I heard, they need to do that. All right, Andrade. That's the first thing I seen. That's what we rocking with. Yeah, look, to me, it's a bit disappointing. Like, see, if this is why people come fuck with me, because, like, I'm not better than anybody. I'm not saying that, you know, I respect all these guys that lace them up and things of that sort. I'm not saying I know more. Yeah, they're the guys that are actually living in and taking the punches and stuff like that. But, like, you look at some of the recent commentary with boxing. Boxing is there's a lot of eyes on us right now, which is a great thing. So there's a lot of money, which is a great thing. But it's like giving so many people an avenue to express their opinion. Former fighter, current fighters, you know, social media, internet, you know, these different platforms. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people's commentary is way off the mark. And to me, I really feel this. There's a lot of people seeing, this is why people like me, I can excel at what I've done at a high level with the commentary, because I really, you know, people say with their bias, ego, and all this stupid shit, but I really don't have no feelings towards the, you know, one person or another, to the point where I can't give them a fair shake. Like, hey, congrats on the job well done. But even fighters, and I think as is the case with Demetrius Andrade here, sometimes they have personal vendettas. They don't like this trainer, or they don't like people that guy's associated with, or that fighter might have talked shit. So as a result, you don't hear nothing positive, you know, and it kind of feels like that. The only thing I can think of for some of the commentary from Andrade recently regarding Errol Spence is that Errol Spence is a Texas fighter, DeSoto, Dallas area, and the Charlo brothers are from Houston, and Spence's stablemate is Jermell, and he's cool with Jermell and Jamal, you know. But I see really no reason that two Olympians who aren't even in the same weight class right now, why one's calling out the other for a fight that really doesn't make sense, is probably not likely to happen. Yeah, big names, people would tune in, but that's not what you would call the biggest middleweight fight, because it just isn't. You know, that's not what you was, you know, we know Andrade can't make no 147. So to me, it seemed out of touch and out of place. Someone said jealousy, and it doesn't seem. The other thing is, like, I want to get back boxing to the point where, like, we could get back to the reality, like Eminem said, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes Rabbit, choke. You know, let's snap back to reality real quick. You know, Andrade is sitting up here with all the best middleweights outside of Jamal Charlo on his side of the fence, and he's talking about a guy who has man down promotions with PBC and is a welterweight. That seems like an issue, because you sitting up here with a stacked house of people, and the people representing you, the company, they just put out DAZN. They just put out a flyer, or, you know, like a little graphic on their Twitter, and it says Canelo versus Triple G 3 anybody. Shout out to Vulcanist super chat, $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Big up. They put a graphic that says a picture of Triple G and Canelo facing off. It says Canelo versus Golovkin 3 anybody. So they're not making you the priority. You sitting up here with a belt, right? You got the WBO belt. You were supposed to fight Saunders. You were down to fight Saunders through no fault of your own. That fight got stripped away from you, and DAZN ain't putting you in no position to immediately get no bigger. You know what I'm saying? Fighting Artur Akov from, I don't even know where he's from, Russia, I think. You know, fighting who did he just fight? Walter Katendakwa. You know, that was a late sub, so you got to kind of let that slide. But either way, these aren't the fights that make an American star a star. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to be someone who has the potential to be an American star. That ain't it. Those aren't the type of fights that are going to make you a household name. Andrade, as a fighter, skillfully, you know, he has a clean-cut look. You know, he's in shape. Those things, he possesses those. Charisma to get behind the mic and to make it interesting, or, like, you know, call people out. He has that. But that's all we're really seeing right now. We're not seeing DAZN push him into the fights that would make him celebrated, right? Guys like Selesky, yeah, he's tough Polish fighter. Got knocked down after knocking Rosado down, got back up, got knocked down versus Jacobs, got back up and gave him a tough fight. You know, that's cool. But those fights, those are just, you know, hardcore boxing fans would appreciate those more. And I keep saying this, I don't have a side like people. There's really people out here who have propaganda and they really pick sides. I told you, I'll cover anybody's event. It got to make sense though. But Al Heyman's blessing his fighters with the gift of freedom, the gift of advice, and he's showing them the business. This man, Errol Spence, is on a star track. You know, he's on track to be a star. I'm not talking about Luke Picard, but he's on a star track, bars. He's on a star track and a path where I can see his picture growing, his profile growing. Man, who the fuck is Super MSP, bro? You gotta chill in the comments because my shooters is ready to clap you, bro. What are you talking about? I didn't say anything about Andre Ward. We're not even talking about him. Block Ray Bobby. That's how we doing it? Okay. Ray Bobby can go. We calling out names. Shooters, get on him. Ray Bobby, Super MSP has one, you know, just he is a warning, a stern warning. I'm going to do like referees. Okay, Super MSP is cool. Just watch his comments. But Ray Bobby got to go. You know, y'all going to start learning how to form real sentences. You know, if it looks like you taking shots at the throne for no reason, trying to disrupt shit, you're out of there. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. They want to distract us so bad. They know we winning, people. Anyway, with Andrade, he's not on par with, like, I'm not dissing Andrade or taking away from him. I told you. Yeah, I mean, my track record speaks for itself, people. All the videos that I've ever done, just go look what I've ever said about Andrade. I've always given him props. But if you don't believe it, go look at the old videos. I don't delete anything. So type in Boxingego Demetrius Andrade. You'll pull up all the content, you know, because I'm damn sure all the videos I done did, I'm damn sure not going back and deleting and listening to what I said. So you can find out everything I've ever said about Andrade. I've never said anything that I could think of particularly like heinous or bad or hatred, but I think he's off the mark here with Errol Spence. He's a welterweight. The other thing that doesn't make sense to me is you're criticizing a welterweight for fighting a guy that was calling him out, chastising him, and then he just obliged him. But then you're doing the same thing by calling out someone 2 divisions under you. Doesn't even make sense. That's like me criticizing Bobby Brown for being on drugs, and then you see me and I'm like, and I know you're getting bored, dealing with her. Like, how can I criticize Bobby and I'm doing the same shit, bro? If I was doing the same shit, which I don't. Vada, come test me. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? You can't really do that. You can't be like, oh, look at Bobby. He's ruining his career. He's strung out on drugs. And then you see me doing videos like, what up, Fight World? You know how to crackheads be having that jaw and shit. What up, fight, Earl? That was a good ass fight. And I know you're getting bored dealing with him. It's my prerogative. I do what I want to do. My. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. So you making fun of Spence for being chose and called out by a little guy. And then you calling out someone who's 2 divisions below you. That don't really make sense. He got just not my thing on this strange relationship. Really good right now. Block Sean Newton boxing. You're out of here. Fig Newton got to go. Who next? I want who next. I'm on my Samuel Peters shit today. I'm feeling too good, too sharp. So yeah, that doesn't make sense. You know. See, I call it down the middle. Y'all know me. I'm like an umpire, and I'm building my empire. Let's get it, bars. I'm like an umpire the way I call it, straight down the middle. Steve, right? Let's get it. Same thing. Look at the consistency your boy has. Look at the memory and the consistency. Yo, this is why y'all rocking with the man ego, man, because look at the consistency I give y'all. Same thing. When Triple G, he looked at Canelo and he said, hey, no, hey, Canelo, he's American, he's not true middle, he's nothing, his tick, 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 his glass chin, his business fight. He did all this. He said, hey, Triple G, what do you think about the Khan fight? That's what Triple G said. Hey, no, hey, American is nothing, his glass chin is not true fine, it's not true mental. This is what Triple G said. The same year, he fought Kell Brook, another welterweight that Khan should have been fighting. Kell Brook. Nah, that don't make no sense. I don't care where you could be from Kazakhstan, you could be from Cali, you could be from New York, you could be from, Turkey, Istanbul. That doesn't make sense. You can't criticize Canelo for fighting a welterweight as a middleweight, or as a 54-pounder, bringing a guy up. And then you bring up a guy even more. Because now that I think about it, Canelo fought Khan at 155. So you brought Canelo Brook, or whatever the fuck, Kell Brook, you brought him up more than that. That's the same thing we talk about here. Triple G, hey, American, that's respect. That's not true fight. And all that, not true fight and shit. So you and Kell Brook, not true fight either. You not true fight with Kell Brook. If you gonna criticize Canelo, and the same thing with business fight. They said, hey, Triple G, what do you think of Conor McGregor facing Floyd? No, bad for boxing. It's business, man. True fight, business. Okay. So what is you versus Steve Cinnamon Rolls? That's true fight? Is that true fight? Like, honestly, I'm just being real. Like, that's true fight. You Hassan Indam. That's true fight. That's not business fight to keep you secure with a win so you can try to fight Canelo. That's not true fight. That's what, it's just hypocritical. So fast forward to this Andrade stuff. Same thing. You're making it like Errol Spence was looking down to bring Mikey up to bully him. Your call. That's different. See, listen, I don't know where everybody from. I told y'all that. But where I'm from, that's different when somebody else starts it and calls you out. Mikey was the one. I see it. Upon yonder. I see something. He was the one that see. I seen it. He was the one that seen it and seen something. He seen something. Shout out to my shooters holding it down. My shooters be drilling, y'all. They be drilling, y'all. They be trying to, bro, we don't care what you talking about. My shooters be clapping, y'all. Esteban from the movie Fresh got clapped, blocked. Oh my gosh. Why Jose de Jesus do him like that? He got blocked. Oh my gosh. He blacked him out like red and meth. He blacked him out. That shit was funny. Anyway, Andrade, I think that comment is hypocritical. And it's even worse because, like I said, Mikey called out Spence, not the other way around. I talked to Spence, you know, at the time, you know, during the Lotta Hurd fight. He wasn't checking for Mikey like that. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, I'm down to fight whoever. Call Al, man down. I'll fight him. I'll fight anybody, man down. That's all he said, but he wasn't really. I was like, do you think he's serious? He's like, I don't think he's serious. Man down. He didn't sound like he was really convinced that Mikey wanted it. But then the word got back to him, you know, when you have like the execs and the people that pull the strings behind the scenes, like Al Heyman hitting you up. Hey, Mikey, he for real, for real. He convinced his brother and his dad he want that smoke. So Errol just said, all right. And then it didn't hurt him. Like, people trying to make it like this hurt Errol Spence. This was just one cap in the hat. He just showed us he can box and destroy an elite level guy who is moving up. Next, you know what I'm saying? People keep trying to carry on this notion where like Errol took steps back. Don't start none, won't be none. Mikey, I seen something. All right, show us. And then he couldn't. You know, you tried, you took the risk, didn't pay off. It happens. People go to Las Vegas all the time with that same mentality. You blow through their whole bank account. You tried it. You took a risk. Then that casino gotcha. These nuts. That's what you put your last little 20 in. You just blew through all your bank account, all your savings, doing the same thing Mikey did, taking a risk, taking a gamble. And you down to your 20, you're like, man, please, I need a hit right here. And you put that max bet on, the slot come, and then the casino tell you at the MGM, and the slot machine gonna say, these nuts, got him, and they gonna take your money the same way. So, you know, take a risk is cool, but you got to take the right risk, because, you know, it'll be a step back. Like, you know, if you have to pay your rent and you go to the casino, that's a risk. You risk of not being able to pay your bills on time or whatever. So everybody takes risk to some degree. So Mikey took one, he called out the man that he shouldn't have called out, and he was made to pay for it. But that's not the same. Andre just randomly called out Errol Spence. Errol Spence said, I'll fight Canelo. I'll fight Sean Porter. I never even heard him say nothing about Andre like that. So that's my thoughts. I think Andrade, and see, I'm just being real. I'm trying to be God damn. Shout out to Dale McCree, $10 super chat. Ego keep dropping the facts and the haters keep hating. You know they gonna hate, but they come back to watch, like you just said. LOL. They know I got the livest live gate. You know, bro. This is, I'm gonna just tell y'all. This is how much I'm killing. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. This is how unbothered we are. Let me show y'all. Everything is A-OK over here. I'm gonna show y'all. This is how unbothered we are. Look. You see that? I am not no fucking plumber, but I just replaced the whole toilet, the fill valve. I ran over to Home Depot. I schmobbed the Home Depot. And I figured, bro, we killing so much. I got time on my hands. I'm picking up new traits and shit. I'm a fucking plumber now, bro. Like, I'm a plumber. I'm out here learning plumbing. This shit is easy. I got time today. You know, the toilet that shit was tripping. The water pressure was fucked up. So, you know, I'm learning new crafts. Look at me. I'm buying flappers, all types of shit, bro. Look, I'm with the plumbing shit now. I'm kind of raw with this plumbing shit. No leaks. Watertight seal. Oh my gosh. See, I used to work at Lowe's, but I used to hate plumbing. You know, when I see customers, I would like dip my head down. Like, cause I worked at Lowe's for years, but I never mastered plumbing. You know what I'm saying? I used to see customers in, you know, when you work in retail and you see a customer in a section, like, and you know you don't know anything, you just look away. That's what I used to do. I would like pick up the phone and nobody would be on the phone and shit. Try to act like, oh, you need an override? Okay, I'm coming. You need that override up front? All right. 1 second. I'll get some for you. All right, the override, I'm coming. Hey, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. So anyway, I'm learning plumbing, all types of shit, bro. I'm like a plumber out here. You feel me? That toilet working like a charm. That shit fit like a glove. I ain't worried about none of this boxing shit because this shit is easy. This is what we do. we just enhancing our skill set. This shit is easy. So anyway, back to the Andrade thing. I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't even seem realistic. Errol Spence, they got their own. If Errol, look, just put it this way. This is why it looks like a clout chase. To be honest, this is why it doesn't look good. If we can't even get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, that doesn't look likely for next. How the fuck are we going to see Errol Spence versus Andrade on DAZN? And he's offering up his belt. I don't think that was a good look, to be honest. I really don't. Because I think Crawford and Spence should and could happen. Like, it makes no sense for when there's a fight of that magnitude that the fans want to see at welterweight. It makes no sense to move up to 160. And the other thing is, me as a real boxing head and a boxing fan, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people continually keep disrespecting. I don't want to see people disrespecting weight classes like this. We can stop that instantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, be a master at your own weight class and then you move up. I think that's the best way. Like Usyk, like Terrence Crawford. I like that. That sounds great to me. Terrence Crawford, nobody was fucking with him at the time at 140, undisputed. He moves up. Now he's at welterweight. It's fight week. Crawford Khan. I love that. Usyk. I love it. Not only did you win the World Boxing Super Series, you fought some people in their backyards. Props to you for that. Usyk was a road warrior. Then the other guy who was a champion that wasn't in the World Boxing Super Series because he had moved up to heavyweight to fight David Haye and knocked him out not once but twice. You fought him too. So you fought a former cruiserweight champion who had been fighting his last two fights at heavyweight, and then you knocked him out. Now you're moving up to heavyweight. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That makes sense to me. I'm not trying to see Errol Spence and Sean Porter and stuff like that. Now, if you can't manage your weight or you can't make the weight cut no more, then you got to move up. So that's your business. But for the guy, Errol Spence just came in a pound under 147 at the weigh-in. Factually, I was there. So why, if he hasn't showed me, I ain't never seen Errol Spence weighing in butt naked and shit. Talking about, get the towel, man down. Like, you know, he's not weighing in naked, so he can still, whatever science him and his team have, he's still making the weight. Period. Actually, Sean Porter, he's the one that missed his last weight. But Errol Spence hasn't, so why I want to see him move up? You know, dominate your division first. Or at least fight a few of the best fights in your division. Like, and the same goes to Andrade or anybody. Andrade just got up to middleweight. He ain't fought Canelo. He ain't fought Charlo. He ain't fought Jacobs. And he ain't fought Golovkin. So I wouldn't want to see him move up to 168. Why would I want to see him move up to 68? Like I said, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, they said he rehydrated to 196 pounds. So he might have had to move up to light heavyweight. Because it was obviously like waning on him and becoming increasingly hard to make the weight. Smash the like button. He said he cut them braids off. Y'all petty as fuck. That's funny though. So yeah, I just think Andrade's to me, he missed me with this. You know, Errol Spence fight just doesn't make sense, doesn't look likely. You know, there's too many good fights. If anything, Errol Spence will move up to 54. Why would he move up to 60? You see what I'm saying? Like, if anything, move up to 54. There's still Jared Hurd there and stuff like that. Why would you just skip? This is the problem. Even my dude Shane Mosley, shout out to Sugar Shane, He moved from 35 to 47 and skipped 140. Shane Mosley would have been a bad motherfucker at the time at 140. So y'all got to know y'all boxing. It's okay. I'm here to help y'all learn. But Shane Mosley, he did that. You know, he went from 135 to 147. He might have had an even longer career because he probably would have fucked people up. Shane Mosley would have fucked them up on Slauson. He would have fucked them up, cut at 140. But he chased the money fight with De La Hoya, and he just stayed in them higher division, 47s and 54. Shane Mosley was a motherfucker at 135. He was knocking heads off, exorcists, spinning them around and shit, bro. Shane Mosley was a dog catcher, nasty dog. Like, he was lightweight, not light heavy, lightweight. He was a problem. So that's what happens. People be not respecting the weight classes, like skipping whole divisions and shit. Skipping the whole division though. So yeah, I don't want to see that. Like I said, even if Spence moved up, why not move to 54 first? Like Demetrius Andrade moved from 54 to 60. He didn't move from 54 to 68. You know, we got to stop this excessive weight jumps and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like people see, listen, people keep doing. I told y'all, I made a video about this a long time ago. Motherfuckers didn't want to listen. When a miracle, this is how I told you I'm a prophet in this game. In 2016, I believe was the year when Amir Khan jumped up to fight Khan, and then later in the year, Kell Brook jumped up to fight Golovkin. I seen a trend, and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta chill with this. They gotta chill with all this dare to be great. That's what people were like kind of billing it as. Oh, Kell Brook is dare to be great. There's a difference between daring to be great and daring to be stupid. That ain't daring to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go on a 4-lane busy ass freeway like I-80 out here in the Bay Area, you know, or I go on 580 or 880 and I start pop locking, that's not daring to be great. That's daring to be a fucking fool. You feel what I'm saying? Like if I'm and I'm just in the middle of a massive freeway trying to dance, that's not daring to be great. How is that daring to be great? That's just stupidity. And that's what people need. They need the right teams and shit. You just jump. Kell Brook ain't been the same since. He ain't looked the same since. All of his eyes is battered in, and he didn't look good versus Michael Zarafa. That obviously was fighting Golovkin. Probably wasn't a good idea. Floyd Pacquiao, Cotto made it look easy. Cotto made it look, you got to know boxing. Floyd and Pacquiao, I could get that. Cotto made it look easy because Sergio Martinez had Patrick Ewing knees. He had New York Knicks Patrick Ewing knees. That's why he made it. Sergio, I like Cotto. Shout out to my Boricuas. Soy Boricua. Wepa. If Cotto fought prime Sergio Martinez, he would get destroyed, bruh. He fought Sergio Martinez with Pat Ewing knees. That's different. He had them Patrick Ewing knees, bro. Y'all don't know shit about boxing. I'm trying to tell y'all. Cotto don't count, bro. If he would have fought the Montevilla that fought Kelly Pavlik, or the first 11 rounds of Julio Cesar Chavez, Cotto would be, you're out of there. Cotto would be destroyed, bro. That's why I was so shocked to see him win. The man couldn't even stand up, bro. I'm not trying to take away from that man's legacy, but y'all got to stop playing with me. Cotto had tough fights with Clottey. Montevilla, stylistically, would have gave him... Because, see, the thing is, you got to understand boxing. When fighters get old or injury prone and shit like that, if a significant part of their weapon is now, like, reduced or gone, then they're not going to look anything. First of all, Sergio Martinez started boxing late. You know, he's a bicyclist and soccer player and shit in Argentina. So he already had that against him. Then he got knocked out by Antonio Margarito early in his career. Then he learned on the job, bounced back, blah, blah, blah. And then he beat Kermit Cintron, in my opinion. Knocked out Paul Williams, had a war with Paul Williams. And he was getting better and better. Knocked out Matthew Macklin and Darren Barker and all these guys, right? But the problem is he relied on fluidity with the movement, with his legs. And he was 40-something years old. And he took some ligament damage in the Chavez Jr. 12th round. He's never the same after that, because watch the Martin Murray fight. That was a hometown Argentina fight, and he didn't look that good against Martin Murray. And he really got dropped like twice, and they only counted one. They said one was a slip. His balance was off. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, I got to know boxing. I'm not trying to slight Cotto. You know, I don't want a bunch of the Puerto Rican fans angry with me. You just got to know boxing. Cotto did his thing, but that was a washed. I confirm, and I don't like doing that, you know, saying someone was washed, but he was washed, bro, just because of the injury. Put it this way. He was petitioning with the New York State Athletic Commission to wear a knee brace because he had Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks ass knees, fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Eddie ass knees and shit, bro. And they weren't going to let him wear those or wear the knee brace. So clearly his knee was fucked up. Why would you ask the New York Athletic Commission to wear a knee brace? And why would that have been a thing? If you were full healthy. And he had like a year layoff or a year and a half. Like, come on, bro. That's just the reality of it. Arrow Best, you're an idiot. See, they try to, first of all, you don't even know how to spell Cotto. He has 2 T's in his name. Second of all, here's why you're an idiot. You're trying to compete with me and go tit for tat because you don't like what I had to say. He says, was Cotto in his prime at the time? No, he wasn't in his prime at the time either, but he didn't have a fucking injury. I think that changes things. Okay, if Cotto had a glass eye or had something wrong, tennis elbow, then that would be different. So I'm not saying Cotto was in his prime either, but he was the fresher of the two. Bro, you're trying to be condescending and, oh, was he in his prime? No, he wasn't in his prime either. I wouldn't say that's his prime. I wouldn't say that's his prime weight class, but he was the fresher of the two. It's different when you have an injury. You have an injury that you can't even stand up. Sam Solomon versus Jermaine Taylor. He could not stand up. How you gonna win a fight? You don't have no balance. David Haye versus Tony Bellew. That's why they did the rematch. You guys got to know boxing. He had a collapsed Achilles tendon. He couldn't stand up, of course, you know, because David Haye was actually starting to come on a bit and stop doing the wild shit. And he was doing better and he actually connected. But then after that, his leg gave up and he came back, got stopped again. You know, that's another fight. I don't think Tony Bellew would have probably beat him if it was David Haye that fought Klitschko, you know. See, that's Jonathan Guy. That's a good point. He said cats are young in their careers and we want them to do crazy shit. That's what I'm saying. There's certain things shouldn't be rushed, like weight classes. Floyd Mayweather is a boxing genius because he said this a long time ago. There's an old like 24/7 or something. I don't remember what show it was on, but I remember the clip. And Floyd, he was like I said before, moving up in weight, it's a process and it takes time. He was telling you, he was breaking it down. Like, this is not nothing you just like jump into. Like, and see, this is the other thing with the weight, the daring to be great. There'd be a lot of fighters that you guys like that would be getting tore out the fucking frame if they did this. A lot of guys that you guys put on the #1 pound for pound, they wouldn't even have a chance. Like, they would be looking horrible. Like, Lomachenko at 47, I think he looks terrible. I think he would look absolutely terrible. Terrible. It's terrible. Charles Barkley voice. Terrible. He wouldn't be good at 47. And it's not like an ungodly amount of weight class jumps. We've seen people move from, like, we've seen Pacquiao move up more weight class than that. Lomachenko would not look good at 47. I don't even know how he do at 40. Regis Prograis, Taylor, you know. Broner, See, people sleep on it. People are like, oh, Broner, blah, blah, blah. Broner has enough power to get respect. But Broner's hard because he, like, I don't know what to expect. But I'm talking about, like, Broner a couple years ago, 35 Broner, 40 Broner. That would be a tough fight for him. Ruslan Provodnikov at 40. Danny Garcia at 40. You just got to know what you're doing to navigate in there. Triple G, I don't think he would look good at 68, 75. Definitely not 75. You know? Put it this way. What I mean by looking good is they would look a lot more human. That's what I mean. It would look a lot more human. You know what I'm saying? Guys wouldn't be respecting their power as much because you're talking about two different things. So, you know, it's easy for like Aram to mock Mikey Garcia's failed attempt at Errol Spence, but he's not putting Lomachenko in that same position. We can't even get Teofimo versus Lomachenko in the same division. So imagine him putting Lomachenko in there with 47. So that's what I said. We got to pay these guys respect. Like, I respect Mikey Garcia. He came up short. It was, you know, it was a bad loss. I told you it was going to be a loss. I told you I didn't see him beating Errol Spence. But I still respect the man because he at least tried something. Like, see, if anybody, I wouldn't want to see no other lightweight really do that, go up and challenge Spence. But if anybody did it, you know, and was confident, maybe him, because he at least fought at 40 a couple of times against some good names, Sergey Lipinets and Broner. And the Elias Rojas fight was at like 40 or 40 something. So, you know, he tried it. So it wasn't even a 2 weight class jump like people try to make it out to be. He had fought just last year in 3 weight classes, basically. Or in the last 12, 15 months or whatever. So, yeah, I don't want to really see that. That's why I'm not a fan of, like, Andrade and Errol Spence. I don't want to see that. And see, like, we got to, like I said, it's just not likely. DAZN and PBC and, like, this is what's wrong with the game. It's like it's almost becoming like a circus in terms of, like some WCW Nitro shit. Why are we even talking about Andrade versus... Just hear what I'm saying. Smash the like button if you guys could. Just listen to this. Why are we talking about Andrade versus Errol Spence with different promoters and all this type of stuff? We're talking about literally Demetrius Andrade at 160 a champion and a 47-pound champion with 2 different networks / platforms. But then DAZN has Triple G, who needs to get an opponent, and preferably an opponent with name, you know, with the name. And Andrade in the Selesky fight hasn't been officially announced. And they should just cancel that and make Triple G and Andrade. That's what's wrong with boxing. You get what I'm saying? We're talking more about some far out Tank and Lomachenko and Mikey Garcia Lomachenko. And we don't look that close to those fights happening. But meanwhile, Lomachenko could fight Teofimo, which would be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why can't we get back to the reality of the shit?
This the real deal. This the real deal. This the real deal. Easy work.
Shout out to Justin. $1 super chat. Appreciate you. Block iRock 575. Being honest, I'm not really a fan of the teeny light weight classes. Triple G needs to fight Andrade. Oh yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of all that. The weight class, like jumping crazy weight divisions and stuff like that. Unless you at least, like, did some major damage in your current weight division. Like, you know, you are undeniably, like, the number 1A, 1B type person in that weight class. Or you became undisputed or something. That's what I would prefer under most cases, you know. There's exceptions like Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko. I just wanted to see a good fight, you know, and they're both 2 gold medalists, shit like that. And Lomachenko couldn't get no work at 122, 126 with no big names. So I was like, fuck it. I look at boxing on a case-by-case basis. Ego's top 5 pound for pound. New media. Appreciate you. Jose said that dude was sus. Most definitely. Definitely. Andrade clout chasing for calling out Spence. Yeah, I don't think it was I just don't see what that really does. Like, if anything, that kind of makes you look bad in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you calling out Errol Spence for fighting a guy who's calling him out, and he can't get top welterweights in the ring, at least at that point. But then you're calling out someone smaller than you, 2 weight classes below you. Like, how does that make sense? Other thing is, it sounds like there's something personal there to me, based on the fact that his assessment of Errol Spence seemed very off. Like, I'm questioning if he even watched the Mikey Garcia fight, or if he maybe watched highlights or something. Because that's another thing we do. You know, some people, like, they'll be in their own training camps or in their own world, so they're not, you know, they'll watch highlights and then make an assessment on the fights. Like, you never see me do that. I always try to give the game the proper respect. I never, like Jaime Munguia. See, I'm a straight shooter. Jaime Munguia, Dennis Hogan, there was so much boxing on. I just told you at the beginning of this stream, just so you know that I'm really transparent with what I'm saying. I told you, I heard Jaime Munguia got a gift decision. But I keep telling you guys, I haven't watched the fight. I've seen some of the highlights, and you know, but that's not enough for me to give a thorough assessment. So I don't never fake the funk like that. If I ain't see the shit, I didn't see it. I could easily get up here and say, oh, it was a robbery. Jaime Munguia, you know, he robbed him, and Golden Boy set this up, and Dennis Hogan won. But I didn't watch the fight, so there's no reason for me to lie. And I really feel like there's a lot of people that, Tim Bradley even said something like that. They said, like, oh, what do you think of Wilder Fury or whatever? And he was like, oh, yeah, Fury all day. Wilder got to work. And they're like, what rounds you give him? Oh, I didn't watch the fight. Hey, bro. What? Tim Bradley said something like that. He made this whole little assessment, and then they asked him another question. Oh, I didn't watch the fight. Who does that? Like, how is that? Like, I just want my commentary to be an informed decision based on like patterns, what I've seen, watching the fight. You know, how you doing full on like analysis of what happened in the fight and you didn't see it. Crazy. But anyway, I don't know if Andre watched it and he still felt that way, but a lot of what he was saying seemed like a bit off to me. It really did. Because he said Errol Spence is one-dimensional, and if anything, and he says he just keeps relying on power. And I feel like out of all times you could have said that about Errol Spence, you say it after the Mikey Garcia fight. That leads me to believe that you might not have watched the fight, because out of all the times you could have said that, you didn't say it. And out of the times you did pick to say it was after the Mikey Garcia fight, where he showed some different shades and he showed some different wrinkles and the ability to outbox a guy who people thought could outbox him. That doesn't even make sense. You're calling him one-dimensional after the Mikey Garcia performance? That don't make no sense to me, because that's the performance, especially out of his big name fights, that's the performance that showed that he didn't have to rely on just power. So why are you calling him one-dimensional now? Why are you saying he's relying on power? Like, it doesn't even, just listen to the commentary, people. Just listen to what Andre said. He says he said he's one-dimensional, like basically a one-trick pony, and he just relying on power. So he didn't stop Mikey Garcia. That shows that he's not who we thought he was. So that doesn't even make sense. One, you're saying he relies on power, but then you're saying he didn't even get the stoppage. So how did he rely on power? How is he relying on power if he didn't get the stoppage? You know, he's like, he basically said like Errol Spence is making people, he's overpowering them, weight bully, that kind of old media shit. You know what I'm saying? He's relying on power and overpowering guys to get the victory. But then you're just talking about how he didn't even knock Mikey out or down. So how did he rely on power to get it done? Doesn't make sense. Block boxing fanatic. Block boxing fanatic. I don't care what you talking about, bro. You go to old media channels and you know, run amok. We don't care what you talking about. See, this is what I'm saying. They try so hard. He keeps coming back. Listen, shooters, if anyone in this particular stream starts talking about Lomachenko, and I'm not talking about Lomachenko or anything to do with Lomachenko, block them. This is what old media does. We're not even talking about the stuff you're talking. I've already addressed Lomachenko. You can go to any of those videos, leave a comment. We're talking about the current boxing news, but they still want to talk about Lomachenko. I'm done. I've already said what I had to say about Lomachenko and Toyota Corolla. You know, that's not even the forefront. And what they do in an effort to misdirect and redirect or whatever, they prove my point, right? They say I'm biased. Oh, you just hate Lomachenko. You just pick Lomachenko. And they keep talking about, I'm not even talking about him. See, they say I'm biased. Oh, Ego only likes black fighters. But I'm talking about how I don't agree with something a black fighter, Demetrius Andrade, did to Errol Spence. I'm talking about how I don't agree with Anthony Yarde's trainer making the comparison, saying his fighter is more skillful than Andre Ward. See, I give fair and consistent criticism. So if anything, these motherfuckers, hopefully you guys see this, they prove that they're full of shit. They say, oh, is there any white fighter you like? You're racist. You hate Loma. I'm not even talking about Loma, but they keep talking about Loma. I'm actually giving constructive criticism to black fighters, and they say I don't do that. So who's lying? Moving on. I don't, you know, Lomachenko, like I said, I've already said what I had to say about him. It's Crawford Khan fight week, and I'm talking about the current shit. So that's my thoughts on the Andrade. It's a bit hypocritical. Him saying that Errol relies on power and all that, and then saying he didn't even get the stoppage. Those are like conflicting statements. How is he relying on power if he didn't get the stoppage or knockdown? So obviously he found another way to get a victory cleanly without any of that. Correct? Correct. Moving on. Tunde Ajayi, or however you pronounce his name, he had a really weird interview with the Mayweather Boxing Channel. Make sure you check it out. I did a video about it, and I want to just, you know, politic with y'all live. He said a lot of stuff, really. Some stuff that was just, maybe it's above my pay grade, but I didn't agree with a lot of what he was saying. But the most interesting thing he said was Anthony Yarde has a higher skill set than Andre Ward. Like, see, and this is the thing. I like Anthony Yarde. I've been following his career. You know, I don't know his trainer. I don't have no problem with him. But this is new media. I got to keep it a buck. I got to keep it a thou wow. I got to keep it consistent. I don't see none of that. Here's the biggest thing. It's too early in the career of Anthony Yarde fighting domestic level Frank Warren specialty cards for you to even make that comparison. How could we properly assess that he has a higher skill set than Andre Ward? Even if he knocked out Kovalev. Kovalev been knocked out by Andre Ward, and he been knocked out by Leader Alvarez. So that's still, you know, that'll show that he's, you know, maybe better than people thought, but that still won't show that he's a higher, because Andre Ward already did it and did it when no one else had did it. So that even if Anthony Yarde went in there, you're getting the version that had lost to Andre Ward twice, had lost to a Leader Alvarez. So even if he went in there and knocked him out in the third round, that still don't prove he has a greater skill set, because you weren't the first person to do it. You're not getting the undefeated Kovalev. You get what I'm saying? So that commentary, that he missed me all the way. Everything he said about that missed me. He said Andre Ward, Anthony Yarde has a higher skill set than Andre Ward. He made it sound like the Kovalev fight was an easy fight for Anthony Yarde. Yeah, I gotta watch this now because I want to see this. This is gonna be interesting now. And then after he complained about fighting in Russia, now he's acting like he never had a problem fighting in Russia. It's the commentary was really all over the place. You know, really all over the place. He says, quote, "We already know this guy Kovalev gasses out after 4 rounds. We already know that he can't take body shots. Andre Ward can't punch like Anthony Yarde. Andre Ward does not have the skill set of Anthony Yarde." End quote. That's what he said specifically. Like what? All that. Like when he said Anthony Yarde punches harder than Ward, whatever, you know, because there's a lot of guys that punch. Kendall Holt punches harder than, you know, a lot of guys at 140, but that don't mean he's a better fighter, you know, because he lost to Lamont Peterson. Kendall Holt got more power than Lamont Peterson for sure, but he got knocked out by Lamont Peterson. So I don't even care about punching power like that. That doesn't even, like I just said, Kendall Holt has a lot more power and smoke at 140 than Lamont Peterson had, but Lamont Peterson knocked out Kendall Holt. So power is power. So I let that part slide because I don't care who has the most power. Power is not the end all be all of these matchups. But then when you says Andre Ward does not have the skill set of Anthony Yarde, okay. Block Law COV. Law COV whatever. He just hurried up and made another account. He just put letters and shit. Block him. Yeah, that claim about Anthony Yarde having a higher skill set, it just don't make sense. It don't make sense because, like, see, this is the thing. I'm not saying Anthony Yarde has no skills or he's a slouch, but how can we rate his skill set in comparison to a, see, this is what's wrong. This is the same thing that I talk about. Like now we're going to talk about Lomachenko real quick. This is the same thing that I was saying with the Lomachenko situation. It's the same pretty much a concept. Nobody has a problem saying Lomachenko is a good fighter. That's all gravy. But when you say he's better than Muhammad Ali, he could beat Floyd, he could beat Pacquiao, and he won't fight Pacquiao, you know, because he's too old. And he's #1 pound for pound, but his performances aren't looking like that. And you're saying, oh, it's because his legs. Tim Bradley, like, look at his legs. Look at his legs, his frame. Then that defeats the whole purpose of pound for pound, right? If you're saying his legs being too skinny or whatever the fuck you're talking about, then that defeats the whole pound for pound conversation. If his leg, Wilder got skinny legs, and he's still stretching out people who are technically better than him. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same concept here with Anthony Yarde's trainer. It's like people saying Lomachenko's #1 pound for pound, but I don't have to see him in there with someone who stylistically could show me that Lomachenko is pound for pound. Guys that I think, like Mikey Garcia, Teofimo, guys that I think match up well with him, Gervonta Davis, none of these fights have happened. Even Miguel Berchelt would be a better fight than Anthony Corolla, for sure. When Lomachenko was at 130, that would have been a way better fight. So how can you say he's #1 pound for pound, and I never get to see him fight guys that I think are, like, have momentum, have the style to even compete with him, experience, those types of things. Same thing with Anthony Yarde. How can I say that Anthony Yarde has more skill? Because of what? Pad work? What are we talking about? Like, what are we basing this off of? You know, because he looks sharp on the pads, because he's beating the guys that he's beaten. His record is 18-0, 17 knockouts. So he has a 94% knockout ratio, right? He's 27 years old, and his last fight was Travis Reeves. He TKO'd him in 5. Travis Reeves had a record of 17-3-2 going into the fight. So it's not, and he had been knocked out by Cairo Murat in 2018. So Anthony Yarde's last opponent got knocked out by Cairo Murat, a guy that Bernard Hopkins beat when he was like 50 years old, you know. And Cairo Murad, if I'm not mistaken, got knocked out by Sullivan Barrera after the Hopkins fight by knockout. And that was one of the performances that Sullivan Barrera had, and then Ward beat him. Ward beat an undefeated Sullivan Barrera. So you guys got to keep up with this timeline that I'm telling you. We'll backtrack this. We'll backdate this. Anthony Yarde's last opponent was Travis Reeves. The guy, Travis Reeves, is not a big name, and he came into the fight with a record of like 17-3-2. He had just lost last year to Cairo Murad by knockout, this Travis Reeves guy. Cairo Murad, before that fight, got beat up by Bernard Hopkins easily, and Bernard Hopkins was like 50. Before the Travis Reeves knockout, so Anthony Yarde's last opponent, before Cairo Murad knocked him out, Cairo Murad was also beaten, but this time by knockout by Sullivan Barrera. So you beating Travis Reeves, and that's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like the end of the, it doesn't really show us you're the best of the light heavies. You get what I'm saying? Ward fought the guy who knocked out Cairo Murad, and Anthony Yarde just fought the guy that got knocked out by Cairo Murad. You see how that works? So that's just a quick chronological order. So beating guys like that, that's cool maybe for where you're at in your career, but that don't show me that a higher skill set, because Ward beat the guy Sullivan Barrera that knocked out the guy that Anthony Yarde just fought. You know what I'm saying? So what are we basing this off on? Damn, he said Yarde would come out of the Super 6 with 3 or 4 L's. Oh, wow. Andre Ward was in the Super 6. Had Yarde. What had Yarde have to compare? That's what I'm saying. So it's like I don't even have anything to quantify that statement, qualify that statement. How can we qualify that statement? Please let me know. Like, and this is, again, I've watched the whole Anthony Yarde career, but he hasn't fought anyone like Andre Ward, for sure. His fight before that, Walter Gabriel Sequeira, with a record of 21-4. He knocked him out. Darius Sek, with a record of 27-3-3. He knocked him out. Tony Avalanche, 26-9-2 record. Nikolai Jekola, 32-4-1 record. Norbit Nemasapati, 25-6-0. Like 18-1, 6-1-1. 15, he fought a guy, Darren Snow, 15-12-1. 22-10, 11-21 record. 1-3. Like, he has, wow, his first pro opponent was 5-38-2. Like, there's literally he hasn't even fought anyone who was undefeated. I don't see one person that he's ever fought. Damn, he fought a guy who was 0-11-1. So he had 12 fights, drew in 1, and then he lost all 11 others. Curtis Gargoyle. This man had 12 fights and lost all of them. One was a draw, but he had 11 losses, no wins. It's like, what are we talking about? What are we comparing it? Like I said, mid-work. I mean, it happens. But you might fight, like Floyd might have fought some guys like that on the come up. So I get that. But again, we're talking about qualifying the statement that he has a higher skill set. What can we compare? He hasn't even fought Kovalev. This version of Kovalev that already got losses, 3 losses. So how can we compare this? What is Anthony Yarde done to compare the skill set? He doesn't have a more extensive amateur background. Ward has a gold fucking medal at light heavyweight. when and he moved up to light heavyweight for that. So it's like all across the board, you're fucked with this argument. It's his first major step up, and he hasn't even stepped up and had the fight yet. It hasn't even been announced, no press conference, shit like that. So how can we say he has a higher skill set? This was my question to Tunde. What is this based off of? So the only thing you can base it off is your eye test. That's it. Because he doesn't have a better amateur pedigree. Ward is a gold medalist. He was a late ad and jumped up in weight to not, I think, so he didn't have to fight someone he was friends with in the same division or whatever. Pro resume, I mean, don't even kid yourself. Obviously, he doesn't have the better pro resume. So what are we basing his higher skill set with? You get what I'm saying? And see, this is the thing with me. I say Teofimo, he's still working on his resume. That's an easy fight to make. But I never said Teofimo's skill set is shitting on Lomachenko. I never said no shit like that. All I said is it's a good stylistic matchup. I like the stylistic matchup. That's what I say. I don't say no. Teofimo got way more skill than he's way this and this. You know, I'm not saying no crazy shit. So I just don't know what we're basing this off of. He has a higher skill set in what? NBA 2K? Like, what are we talking about? In the FIFA game on PS4? Like, what is the higher skill set? Because in boxing, there's nothing that I can think of that you could pin and peg Anthony Yarde as the higher skilled fighter, provable. So it's like, what's the point of even making that assertion and making that comparison? I don't get it. Why make that comment? No one was even talking about Andre Ward. And then he said something else. Then he said something else like, I guess Andre Ward did commentary and someone asked him, what do you think of Yarde fighting Kovalev? And then Ward made, I guess, a comment saying that Yarde's going to have to walk through fire. And he was like, no, we don't have to walk through fire, Mr. Ward. You had to walk through fire. This is easy for us. What? All right. And then, like, just like I said, saying that Kovalev has body shots and he fades after 5. Only 2 people have beaten him and made him fade. So it's not that easy. It's not, you know. Like, Kovalev looked real good in his last fight. Yo, you got to get these likes up. I'm looking at it right now. Smash the like. You know, it's like just people clout chasing and saying whatever for the most shocking headline. That's what it feels like, because there's no way you could qualify that statement. That's like me saying Greg Oden is better than Michael Jordan. Like, okay, like based on what? You know, that's like when he first in the league. He showed promise, but you couldn't say he better than Jordan. He better than Shaq. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's disrespect. It's disrespectful to the legends. You know, man, Greg Oden, he way rawer than Shaquille O'Neal. Based on what? Because he's new and he's looking good. And then you see how Greg Oden's career looked, and you look at Shaq's career. It's just disrespectful, bro. And I'm not saying Anthony Yarde is Greg Oden. I'm just using a comparable comparison. People were high up on Greg Oden. You know, in football, motherfuckers like Tim Tebow. It's all about the T. He was kneeling down and shit. So y'all like it when the white athlete kneeled down, but when Kaepernick, who's black and white, you know, when he kneeled down, y'all hated it. But anyway, Tim Tebow, you know, you can't compare him to Joe Montana and Steve Young and Tom Brady. You can't even compare him to Drew Bledsoe. What the fuck you mean? Nick Foles. What are you talking about, bro? Warren Moon. You can't compare him to Troy Aikman. Shit, you can't even compare him to Clay Aikman. What is y'all talking about? Do y'all even watch sports? Y'all just be saying whatever, bro. Oh, you better than Troy Aikman. Like, he ain't better than Clay Aiken. What are you talking about? It's like, y'all gotta stop that premature anointing shit, bro. Greg Oden. He's better than Shaq. All right. How many rings Shaq got? All right. How many rings Oden got? All right. That's all you have to do is just say, all right. You know, these motherfuckers. Lomachenko, he's better than Muhammad Ali. All right. All right. Triple G, he's better than Bernard Hopkins. He beat Marvin Hagler. He's the next Mike Tyson. All right. All right. So I don't know. I don't get all this clout chasing shit. I'm from a different era. I need a time machine. Take me back. I need to go back in time because I don't deal with all this clout chasing. That is just crazy, bro. Like, and like, let people be what they're gonna be. But what they're gonna be is gonna be shown over time. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like, whatever. That's my thoughts on it. I'm out. Holla at the boy. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Had to hit y'all over the head with some of that science.